Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about all the books that I read this year. I have currently read, as of the 27th of July, 103 books. And you might be thinking, how many? Holy shit! Not really, because honestly, the last 3 months, I haven't read that many things. I started the year greatly, but now it's just going a little bit downhill, so we'll see. But I wanted to show you all the books that I've read this year because, honestly, I feel like this year has been such hit or miss. Not even hit, just a complete miss for me. Because I really haven't found like that many good books, to be honest. So let's just go through them and see if I actually am correct with my assessment or if maybe I'm forgetting a lot of books, a lot of good books that I've read. So let me just record my screen and we'll go through the reading challenge together. So I started the year by reading Blood on the Tracks, which is a manga that I've read since last year, and I'm currently on volume 13. It's I think 18, 19 books long, but I've been really enjoying it. So this has been on point, but again, nothing like mind-blowing. It's been just like consistently good. So there's nothing like there that I'm just like, oh yeah. Philadelphia. So this is a graphic novel, a horror graphic novel. I was expecting so much out of it. It was such a disappointment. I gave it 3 stars. The art I didn't like, and the story was kind of weird. It's about vampires. It wasn't about, and it wasn't good vampires. It was just like mostly meh. Then Rubicon. Rubicon I read very early on this year. I think I finished it on day 2 or 3 of the year. And it's a sci-fi book. It's solid. It's definitely solid, but I didn't love it. I didn't love it. I think I gave it 3 stars, 4 stars. Yeah, 3.5. I was there. So yeah, it's mostly fine, but I wasn't really a huge fan. Night Fever is a graphic novel that I got for my birthday. Well, that they gave me for my birthday, and it was fine, but I didn't love it. So I give it 3 stars. It's about like a dude who's having like his midlife crisis, and now he started to kill people basically. Well, he gets involved in an assassination. Night Eaters. This one I actually liked. It was solid, 4 stars by the same authors as Monstrous, so this one is mostly fine, but again, nothing that I'm completely in love with. Hideout is a good manga, horror manga about a couple that well, the dude, instead of getting a divorce, decides that it's better to kill the wife in the middle of the forest, and they get enthralled with something else. Fantastic decision, you know. But again, 3.5. It was fine, but very predictable. Edge of the Woods, I actually really liked it. Felt like a Kara's origin story, but in general, I enjoyed it. So it's good. This one is good. Perdition's Flame. This works. Well, I thought this one was a sequel to one of the Warhammer audiobook dramas, but it's definitely not. It's fine, but not as good as The Watcher in the Rain. Not even close. First 5 star of the year was a reread, The Will of the Many. Cannot talk better about this book. Fantastic book, my favorite book of last year. And it looks like this year too. I'm dying to get book 2, to be honest. I'm fucking dying to get it. Then, Bizarre Ball was actually really good. I still need to write like a written review because I've talked about this one in videos, but it was pretty fucking solid. I do have to say that I prefer book 1 because it had like a magical school, very dark magical school. But it's good in general. Again, Blood on the Tracks and All of Us Villains was definitely a good surprise this year. It definitely was a good surprise. But nothing to be like my favorite. It was fine, but nothing else. The Killer Inside, I hated this shit. I DNF'd it. It was so fucking bad. Like, this will be on my worst things of this year for sure. Fathom Fog, one of the hugest disappointments that I got this year. I just really didn't like it. I gave it 2 stars. It felt extremely young, and honestly, there were some expressions that were you see, I already have a written review for it. You can check it out, but I really didn't like it. Then as you can see, I went into a bit of a Jujutsu Kaisen rabbit hole because I decided to read the whole manga and after the second arc of the anime. And nowadays I'm exactly on point with the manga, suffering a lot to be honest, but I love it so much. In the middle we have False Gods, which Horus Heresy, loving Warhammer this year, but not enough for me to be just like, yeah, this fucking book was great. I'm just loving the universe as a whole. Nigromante was fucking awful, hated it with a passion. So many bad books this year, it's unbelievable. Okay, more Jujutsu, great. All of Our Demise is the sequel to All of Us Villains, which was worse than book 1. In here, everyone was paired up. Like, there's no need for everyone to have a couple. It's perfectly fine to be alone. They could not be alone. Like, it was fine, but not as good as the first one. Gannibal 11 and 12 were very meh. I really liked the Gannibal, especially the beginning, but it dragged too much. Too much. The King Killing Queen, again another disappointment. I was expecting so much out of this, and it did not live up to my expectations at all. Like at all. So, I don't know what to do with this one. It's just like, fine. How to Kill Your Family. This was fun. This was fun, but that's it. Dark fun, which I actually really like. I really like dark comedies, and this is definitely not a comedy, but it was so like over the top. I enjoyed it really much, but it's not really like my favorite thing, you know? More blood on the tracks. Then A Blade Through Time, which I enjoyed, but it wasn't like the biggest thing. Best closer to best. You see, closer to 3.75. It was enjoyable, but I hope that it was more. And it wasn't dark enough. Like, I was hoping that it was really like grim dark, but it really wasn't. Then All You Need Is Kill surprised me a lot, and I really liked it. This is the manga that the film... You see, I gave it 5 stars. Holy shit. I think it's the only 5-star book that I have. This is the book that the movie The Edge of Tomorrow is based on, with Emily Blunt and fucking Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, holy shit. And I like the movie. The movie is definitely heavily inspired by the book. Like, it has some very like same scenes, but I really enjoyed the manga. Really enjoyed it. Past Crimes was a surprise. I enjoyed it a lot, but it was not the best thing. Like, I like the concept of the podcast and the true crime taking over. I really like that. Again, Galaxy in Flames, another Horus Heresy book that I also gave 5 stars, but it's honestly closer to 4.5. I was just very excited when I finished it, but it's definitely not like a full 5-star. Something is Killing the Children. I really liked it. Again, I gave it 5 stars, but I didn't remember. So is it actually a 5-star book? Who knows? I'm sweating so fucking much, dude. It's so hot in here. I really liked it. This volume was definitely better than volume 6, and I'm excited to get to volume 8, dude. I love this series so much. It's one of my favorite. Revival, I actually quite enjoyed. Surprise, I gave it 4 stars. I really want to... Holy shit, 3rd place. Unbelievable. Sorry. I really want to continue this series, but it's very expensive to get it, so we'll see if I actually continue it one day. The Fractured Dark, I talked about this one very recently. I liked it. It's the best sequel that I've read this year for sure. Well, Galaxy in Flames is technically the best sequel that I've read this year. But still, I'm choosing this one because the story is definitely more condensed than Horse Heresy. Titan Hoppers was a surprise because it went on a completely different direction than I was thinking, honestly. I didn't have like that much expectations about it. For some reason, even though it's a Robert J. Hayes book, and I really like his works in general, but I actually quite like it, and the concept is very different. Like, you have these people traveling through space trying to find these titans so they can get parts and keep believing, basically. It's really fucking cool, to be honest. An Education in Malice. I like this one. Oh, it has such a low rating, dude. Holy shit. 3.5? I actually really liked it. It's definitely a slow burn romance, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I do have to say that I thought it was going to another direction with the ending, but it didn't. So it's fine. I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I definitely prefer this one over Evocation for sure. And again, more rereads. I reread Pines. I love this series. I already knew that I had 5 stars on this first book because it's fantastic. I love it so much. Great science fiction horror. Legacy of Ash was a surprise. I enjoyed it for sure, but it didn't give me what I was expecting. I thought it was going to be more dark, and it definitely was darker than most average fantasy, but not grimdark. So I was a little bit disappointed about that. But the story, I liked it. I still need to read the sequel. I already have it, but I've been very lazy with sequels this year. I did an amazing job last year, but this year, I'm not really feeling it. Then I try and read Full Metal Alchemist, but it's so different from Brotherhood that my brain cannot fucking read it anymore. So I don't think I will be reading volume 2. Freeze Frame Revolution, favorite of mine. I love it so much. It's the 3rd time that I've read it, if I'm not mistaken. I just really like it. And the more that I read it, the more I like it. Wait, what do you mean Sunflower Cycle? Wait a fucking minute. This is actually set on the same world as Beyond the Rift. I have Beyond the Rift somewhere. What a fucking discovery. I need to read that one too. I have it somewhere, I don't know where. This Scourge Between Stars was a disappointment, along with most of horror sci-fi that I've read in the last 3 fucking years. Like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying, but whatever, dude. Sterling House. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's extremely underrated. I really, really liked it. It's more of gothic horror because we have like this kind of possessed house, and it's definitely more on the slower side, but I really, really liked it. The 7 Days of Evelyn Hardcastle is a favorite of mine. I gave it 5 stars because this book is fucking fantastic. I do not accept any fucking critic about it. I think it's fucking great. But the thing is, I read his most recent book. We'll talk about it later. Leviathan, Volume 1. This is a very short manga. It only has 3 volumes, and I actually really liked it. It's very different, but I'm enjoying it so far. The art is weird, but the story is super cool. It's about a group of children, and they get stranded in this starship, basically. It's really cool. Of course, Sufficiently Advanced Magic, because I reread the whole series this year. Incredible, 5 stars, cannot say anything else. Again, I also reread Blindside. I've reread more than 20 books this year, which is so unreal for me. So unreal. Blindside, fantastic science fiction book, cannot recommend it enough. It even has vampires. I reread Dune before going to see Dune 2. And did I like him more this time around? I don't think so. I think he's solid 4 stars, a little bit overrated, but I can see what it did, okay? I can see what it did for science fiction. Children of the Black Sun is a couple of volumes that I've been reading lately. Horror fantasy, not bad, to be honest. Not bad, but on the weirder side, like the Children of the Corn type of read. I finally read volume 2. I read volume 1 last year, and I love the art. I do not really love the story because for some reason I do not click with it, but the art in this graphic novel is absolutely gorgeous. And just for that alone, I recommend it. But yeah, we also have vampires here. Children of the Black Sun again, fine. On the Shoulders of Titan, The Torch That Ignites the Stars, fantastic reads. Fantastic reads. I have to say that book 3 is 4 stars instead of 5 because it's definitely much more focused on the magic system, which is not bad because I really like that. But it does not have my favorite character in it. So for that long, I'm taking a star. Again, Children of the Black Sun, Blood on the Tracks, Gunnibal. the last volume, great disappointment, to be honest, but it's fine. The Silence of Unworthy Gods, which I'm glad I reread, because I like it this time. So this time around, I like it more than the first time that I read it, but it's also great. I cannot complain about this series. I love it so much. My favorite series. Blackwater, another disappointment. I think it's extremely overrated. Extremely, especially here where I live. Everyone is obsessed with this because it has pretty covers, to be honest. And we are all collectively decided that we love it. I just can't. It's so boring. Then Anatomy, which was my greatest discovery of this year, and the fact that I actually like love stories when they are done well. Who would have thought? The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, another reread, I really like it, is getting a TV show on HBO, which I'm so happy. It's going to be fucking fantastic, I know it. Then The Watchers, which is having a sequel coming out. I think it already has it, but it's having a sequel coming out. Which, why? Like, this was definitely done, but for some reason it's getting a fucking sequel. It's about some strangers. It got a movie too this year. It's called The Watchers too, but it's based on this book. Then the second book in the Immortality, in the Anatomy duology, Immortality. I did not like it as much as book 1, but it's still really good. The Kirsten Court, which I actually really like. I read it as an arc. And if you like politics, in fantasy, this book is for you. I really liked it. I'm very excited for book 2. I feel like book 2 is going to be bigger than book 1. Requiem for a Star, I've talked about this book in a lot of videos recently. Made me cry so much. Just the reappearance of Rachel Price, which was fine. I liked it. It was an enjoyable thriller, but not nearly close to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Not even close. Fina, which I enjoyed, is an IKEA horror story. So if you like something like horror story, you will really like this. Again, Leviathan, which I'm enjoying. The Shadow of the Torture, which was a disappointment. Extremely disappointed about this one. The plot led absolutely nowhere. It felt like a collection of short stories too. Like one of the last books that I've read recently. But I did not like it at all. I think I will be reading book 2 just because I have a bind up. But I'm not really looking forward to it. The Gathering. Loved it so fucking much. One of my favorite books of this year. Alien Clay was okay. That's it. Adrian Tchaikovsky and I cannot get a fucking deal. Like, I don't know what it is, but I just do not like most of his books. But then I read some of them and I love them. But the others are just not for me. It's just so complicated. Then Kaiju, I didn't really like it. Kaiju number 8. I much prefer the anime over the manga. I will not be reading the manga. Natural History of Dragons. Really liked it. I've talked about this once very recently, so I will gloss upon them. Really liked it. Surprised by it. I will read book 2 for sure. La Luna del Cazador was okay. Dark academia. More like gothic horror than anything else. If you like the CW shows, very cheesy kind of teenagers that don't look like teenagers, you will definitely like this one. Demon, absolutely love it. My favorite series of the year by a fucking mile. Then Womb City. Bizarre. Bizarre. It's just, there's no other word to describe it. Blood on the Tracks number 12, again fine. Evocation, extremely disappointed. Extremely disappointed. More of a love story than anything with blood, which makes me really sad. Deathless, another fantastic edition of this series. It's just like so fucking cool. The Flight of the Eisenstein was actually pretty fine, except the beginning that was basically Galaxy in Flames retold for another perspective. Howling Dark, reread, fantastic. Love Howling Dark. The Last Murder at the End of the World, which is by the same author as The 7 Days of Evelyn Hardcastle. I did not really enjoy this book that much. I enjoyed it sufficiently enough to give it 4 stars, but I was extremely disappointed by it. Like, it's not on the same level as his first book. And I'm sorry, because I understand that it's hard. Creating a book like that as your first book, holy shit. But I hate it because now my hype is always up here when I read his books and I'm always disappointed. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I will probably keep reading his books, but I'm constantly disappointed by them. House of Slaughter Alabaster is the spin-off series of Something is Killing the Children, and I actually really like this volume. I think it's my favorite volume so far. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Another reread, An Unkindness of Magicians, which I actually enjoyed this time more than the previous time that I read it. And I don't know why, because honestly, not that much changed, but I feel like I'm in a different mood than the first time that I actually read this one. Then, A Certain Hunger. I liked it, but I did not love this. I think it's extremely underwhelming, as I said in my review. I get the hype, in a sense, but I feel like so underwhelmed by it, especially the ending. I don't know, a little bit disappointed here. God Killer was fine, but that's it. It was just fine. Nestle's, I actually really like. I gave it 4.5, yeah? I really like the ending. Like, it's so bittersweet. I fucking loved it. So yeah, highly recommend it, to be honest, if you like horror stories. Then The Ninth Rain was also a reread, which I did to just get to book 2, but I enjoyed it less this time around, which is also curious. Then Herald, nothing to say here, just amazing. This Sword Unbound, which was worse than the first book, so sad because my hype was up here and it did not deliver as well. It got a lot of second book syndrome. So what can one do? Then Five Survive, a thriller, enjoyable. I much prefer the other one, like The Disappearance of Rachel Price, over this one, but if you like very fast thrillers, you will really like this. Diabola, great horror story too, bittersweet indeed. I really enjoyed it. Cuando la tormenta pase, extremely disappointed by this one as well. You see, it's not just me. I'm so disappointed with everything. Oh my god. The same with The Spear That Cuts Through Water. Why? Why did no one tell me that the writing style was so weird and so bizarre? It was not for me. This one is not bad. It was just not for me. The Lesser Devil and Queen Amid Ashes, fine short stories in the sunnier world. Both pretty fine. I do not like this dude, no matter how many fucking short stories he gets. The brother is a fucking douchebag, and I do not like him. And the last one that I've read as of recently is The Weight of Blood, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but it wasn't my favorite thing. So as you can see, I hated almost everything this year. So I don't know what to do, to be honest. But yeah, mostly everything this year I did not enjoy. I mean, I did enjoy them, but I have like so many conflicting feelings here. Definitely the best books that I've read this year was Galaxy in Flames, All You Need Is Kill, and Anatomy. Which is fucking surreal and so different. Like a manga Warhammer book and a love story. What is this? I don't know. But what is your best book of the year? Are you having like a disappointing year like me? I feel like the new releases have been just fucking trash and I have not enjoyed any single one of them. Like, I read them, I'm fine, but then it's just like, it's done and that's it. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below, and as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!